What have you got planned for tea, Joe?
I've had it. I've spilled some of it down my jumper.
Beans?
I did have baked beans. I haven't had beans for ages. I reckon well over a year. I hadn't had beans. So I went all out. I put like Liam Perrin's Worcester sauce in, some grated cheese. The first bite that I had went straight down my jumper.
Amazing. So do we need to speak up, Diane, or just not?
Just speak normal.
Okay.
Gordon, send more house to save the house. Come on, the house!
Hello and welcome to the pilot episode, should I call it pilot, of the Housecast podcast. This is the unofficial, in our eyes, podcast of Lowerhouse Cricket Club. It was the brainchild, really, of two people sat next to me, Jez Hope and Joe Martin. We've been trying to get together for the last 18 months, and Joe's been washing his hair, and I've had to go on for my tea, but finally we've got together. And after a day of bonfire building, I know Jez had to put up with Stan for quite a while. Joe, have you been involved?
No, I haven't.
No?
More a kind of thinking man, I'd say, rather than a lifting one.
So is that why it's too close to the square then? We'll comment on that after the bonfire's gone on. So a little bit of an introduction. Jez?
Good evening, chaps. Good evening, Adam. Thanks for pulling this together. Good to see that we've at last got it going. Let's keep progress for it, and hopefully it's a success.
I always thought it was a good idea to get three different sort of generations of the club together to discuss how the club's progressed since when we all started playing. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see lots of and hear different stories and see what we can come up with. So,
well, I think it's a good point that we wanted to get together. It's not just going to be us three. I was dragged in as the kind of technical man, probably because I know how to use a computer. But like you said, we've got three generations. We've got Jez.
Of all first-team cricketers.
All first-team cricketers, yeah. Adam with his one cap, third man to third man. If you want to get in touch with us, you can do. We've got a Twitter handle. I can't even remember what it was. It's at, let's have a look, Housecast. Housecast, yeah. So it's at HousecastPod. And we're actually on email address housecast@lowerhousecc.com. So if you want to get in touch, ask any questions.
Did we have some questions already?
We did. We'll get onto them later on, yeah. But it's not just going to be us three because that'd be quite boring. You won't want to listen to me or Joe or Jez for long periods of time. We're going to get some guests. We've got a few lined up. But if you do want to appear as well, I know I've actually had a question from our Czech supporters club.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, wonderful.
So we've got Dan Statham,
good stuff,
who lives in Prague. He's going to join us maybe by Skype if the Wi-Fi in the West End room works. So we're in the West End room. It is our new recording studio. We're barricaded in by a couple of rounders posts. Jez has had 2 pints delivered, even though it's Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
He's retired, it's fine.
He's retired, he can do what he wants.
Martin just said I was here at 8:30 this morning. I've just finished building a bonfire, so I think I'm deserving.
The bonfire is looking bigger than ever.
Tall.
Very tall.
It looks a little bit too close to the square to me, but that's named to other people that I won't name.
So, it's all right, it wasn't Stan. Jez is doing a bit of whispering. What we'll do then, I'll go over what we were thinking of talking about as a little bit of a structure for the first episode. So you always call the first podcast episode a pilot. That's because if it's crap, no one listens to it, you can delete it, no one ever knows. So this is episode 0. So first topic, we're going to be talking a little bit into the history books. I've pulled a game out of not thin air. I looked at a couple of stats and I thought this would be a good one. Definitely one for Jez to remember. Within that, I've also got a couple of questions I'd like to ask you both. Then we're going to move on to questions from the audience. We don't really have an audience yet. We are going to be able to see who listens. Yeah, and we'll be able to...
Jez has just put his glasses on.
Okay.
Fold up to the size of 50p. Look like jam jars. Questions from the audience. And we moved forward in technology last month with the Lowerhouse draw by video in it. Jez gave that a do for the first time, live from his Bury headquarters. But we're going to do that on the podcast as well this week. So, depending on who listens to it, how many listens to it, this podcast can be something that grows into once a month, maybe even once every couple of weeks in the season. So we will take it from there.
I'm very available. So.
You're very available.
I'm very available now as well.
I live around the corner, so I don't see why I won't be. Last minute dropouts. But the beauty of this is we can do it by Skype if we want. So let's move on to our first subject. I've called it Looking into the History Books. If you've got a name for this, feel free to tweet us.
Oh, good, because I haven't. I'm more than happy with that. Yeah.
Okay. Jez, can you remember playing at Rottenstall in 2001?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've not preempted what this was about. 2001, I would have been in my late 80s. Correction, late 30s.
Who were the pro? Can you remember?
Our pro? No idea.
I remember this game. I picked it out because I was sat in the dressing room. What, we're at 2001, so I'd have been 14. Still not made it into the fourths yet because it weren't a thing.
I like to Google this sort of stuff and give myself a chance.
You can in 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
So we batted first. My uncle opened batting with a pro, and it weren't Matt.
Right.
And we had a certain Mark Rindell.
Yeah, I remember him now.
Okay, so how did we get off? What sort of start did we get off to with a bat?
If I remember rightly, Rindell's a South African, fantastic player, all-rounder, that pro'd in a lot of the leagues around here, but not the Lancashire League. Quite sure he pro'd with us before this game, and it was quality, top quality player. And I remember Nicky and him probably putting 100 on, and I think Nicky got about 20.
Did he? No offence to Mr. Rindell, but didn't he have a little bit of a look at Nicky with a helmet on?
I can't remember that.
I think I remember because I thought Nick had got off to an absolute flyer, and looking at the scorecard, yeah, you are right. He did. Rindell played for us twice, and he scored 190 runs in 2 innings. But on this day, he scored 165. Now,
hang on, I can remember. Can I have a look at the scorecard?
Yeah, have a look now.
Mossy were there, pro, weren't they?
He was, yeah.
Who's picked this game?
Me? What's the significant?
Wonderful.
Right.
What's the significant statistic I've picked out of this game?
Can I just add? I was 38 and a half in this game.
Okay.
It says here, toss won by not known. I remember it, right? It's flat as anything. It's rock hard. It's towards one boundary. We win the toss, and as Stan always says, we'll sunbathe. We get off to a fantastic start. It says here we were 219 for none, and obviously then that's when we lost our first wicket, and Nicky got 52. But I know what you're going to... Do you want to do it now, or do you want to build up to it?
Joe, if you were playing in this game, obviously you have opened, you've batted every position in the first team. What would you be thinking at 219 for none?
At 219 for none, I would be expecting us to get to 300.
Yeah.
Depending on how many overs were left, I guess.
Okay.
If Stan were batting.
Now, nowadays, there's a lot more runs scored than probably back in 2001.
Yeah, in 2001, I was 7, maybe 8. I'd have been watching Jez at that time in some kind of James Bond.
I'm going to say, would you be stood there with a...
We could talk about that on another podcast.
The youngest person in Burnley to wear a 3-piece suit.
Always very stylish.
With the best operatic voice.
Well,
anyway.
That's still the case. What was the question?
As a cricketer, where would you think you'd... At 220 for none, how do you think the game would go?
Well, you'd expect to rack them up and bowl them out, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm not building this up. So let's batted 31 out. Mark Rindell got 165, which was up there with our highest score until Ben came along a couple of seasons ago. And then we had a typical Lowerhouse collapse of Frank out for 4, Dave Worley out for none, Ryan Esketh out for 5, John Proctor out for none, Jez Hope out for 5, and Swifty with a red inker at 3. 298 for 8 off 50 overs.
Would that have been the highest? Would you have played in any games that have had a higher score, Jez?
Yeah, certainly sounds like it should be, shouldn't it?
I've got my laptop, let's have a look.
I think so, wouldn't you?
Anyway, whilst you're looking that up, Adam, let's just move on. I remember it now because the 25-yard circle thing would have been 25 metres, 25-yard probably then. It was at Rottenstall, where the square is obviously quite small compared with a small ground, and the wicket was that close to the steps. The circles, they had them on the fourth step around because they couldn't fit on. So as you can see, we're very excited at being. And it doesn't say on here how many balls people faced, does it? Because the scorecards are that old. But it was 50 overs. But I do remember we lost our first wicket with a good number of overs to go. And you look at that batting, it's disgraceful. Blez is obviously batting for himself. I've looked around the ball. 31 they're out. I remember it. Their pro was a lad called Matthew Mott, who most people will probably know. Motty had pro'd for us prior to Rottenstall, and then before us pro'd at church, and a fantastic chap. He's doing really well now, I think, with Australian ladies.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
But what a lovely man, real character, a really good people person. He was fantastic in the dressing room and in the bar, an all-round good egg. But I remember that LB pitched about 4 inches outside leg stump. And he had this horrible smile. He looked a bit like Robbie Williams. He had this daft smile on his face as he got me out. I'm marching off, and I'm looking, thinking, we've got 288, you dickhead.
I have to bleep that bit, Jez.
We've got 298. What are you talking about here? Only for it to come back and bite me on the backside.
So
look at these stats now.
Well, looking at it, it's the 4th highest ever total against Lowerhouse in Lancashire League history.
We got beat, yeah.
I know, we'll get to that. But interestingly, that were in 2001. The highest was also in 2001 against Rishton away. Clinton Perry.
We didn't play that game, Jez.
What? They got 340 and we were 118 all out.
Anyway, come on, move on.
Okay. Interesting. That game, it says Paul Stanfield was absent hurt.
Oh, dear.
There you go. So moving on. Why is this game significant, Jez, with your name written all over it?
Well, it's clearly that you're going to build up to that I've bowled a significant amount of overs, but I've gone for over 100.
So, Jez Hope, 19 overs, 3 maidens, none for 121.
Right. I have 2 points here before Joe crucifies me. The first one is, it's interesting stat, isn't it? Matt Hope were captain that year. Oh, look, 6.5 overs. What's all that about? On a shirt fronter against a top pro, who's smashing it all over, throws it to his 38-year-old brother, saying, please, can you come and bowl for me? My second point is, I got Motty out about the 6th over caught behind. An absolute took the cover off it. We didn't even claim. I'm running down towards, it would have been the stumper.
Frank that day?
Yeah.
I'm amazed he caught it. Frank also known as clang, cymbals, whatever you want to call it. But he caught it. Frank will remember this, and if it were live, it would ring in. And Motty had that daft look on his face, set off walking, and then stopped.
1 second.
Hi, Stan.
Oh, we've got Stan at the door.
You must be freezing here. Why are we covering?
Because of the funeral.
Funeral in there.
They won't mind. In the bottom corner.
We're recording a podcast, so
Do you want me to go and
a bit of chat. No, I'll be fine.
No.
We're warming up.
Thank
you.
That'll do for B-roll, Stan. Cheers.
Wonderful.
So anyway, now Stan's gone.
So you had him out?
Yeah, and it 100% nicked it. Like it says they did who the umpires were, and he had that daft look on his face, and he knew, and it was the old W.G. Grace sketch.
Yeah.
The spectators have come to watch me, not you.
Yeah.
Albeit with about 26 on. And he didn't give him out, and I was really mad at him. And afterwards, he could see I was so annoyed at him, because he actually said to me, Jez, it's only a game, and I nearly threw him out.
But he got 161.
Yeah, because he got 161.
Yeah. So Rottenstall went on to get 300, and Matty got 161 of them.
Did you have 19 overs straight through?
No, I didn't. No, I bowled early on, and that's probably where I got my 3 mains from. I beat the back probably 3 balls and over. Matt obviously opened up as well because he got CJ out.
Vinny Hansen was 65 out as well.
And then other bowlers have come on, Joe, to get Motty in good nick, and then Matt brought me back.
Yeah, brought you back.
For the end,
Yeah.
Johnny Russell only bowled 5 opening up as well.
Yeah.
None for 45.
Yeah, they probably twinged his hamstring or something.
So I thought that was an adequate first game to have a little bit of a talking point about Joe.
But Jez,
Yeah.
so you've gone for 100. How many times would you say you went for over 100 in a game?
I'd like to think that was the only one.
Unfortunately, Jez,
We
are very in
can see,
front of me. The second highest. No, it's not you. Not the second highest. Tiffer is the second highest against Church at home. He did get FIFA in 2004.
Oh. Worsley Cup year, Jez?
Yeah.
Worsley Cup. Yeah, this was a league game on the 5th of September, so probably the last couple of games of the season. Church got 231, and we were 209 for 9 off 50 overs. Pete Maudsley, 63.
I once saw him in Liverpool a few weeks ago. No, a year ago.
Once saw him a few weeks ago, a year ago.
About a year ago, yeah.
Did he still have his pads on? He used to love walking around the ground with his pads.
Yeah,
even if you're batting 9. And then, Jez, you are third as well. Rami at home, 96, 5 for 113. Sound Australian there, don't
That's good, isn't it? 21 overs again, Jez.
Yeah. I can hardly walk, Joe.
Yeah. They're the games I wanted to cover.
Yeah, okay, so I think, Joe, if any more questions, because I think the next game that we cover in the next podcast will be, I'll be asking questions of you.
Perfect. I'll have you know, I know we've already joked that I only played one first team game, but I did take a catch in Stuart again and did put it down wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was Ryan Harris's second game down here. I took a catch at third man, it was accurate for a slip. And Gaynor put it down as someone like probably Scott.
Do you know, he once did that to me against Ramsbottom, 2010. Remember it now. In 2010, I had a stumping off Aaron Heel, Keith Webb.
You were the only wicket keeper, obviously.
And he'd give it his ball. Gaynor wrote it down his ball.
I thought you were going to say that was stumped Keith Webb. I was wondering who Keith Webb is.
No, I stumped Keith Webb. Was it Keith Webb? There might have been Jamie Pillin, actually. It was one of them. No, I had Keith Webb caught behind. Jamie Pillin out stumped, but he gave it his ball.
Right,
It was
okay.
very frustrating.
You know me and my stats. I put a couple together just because having a look through. It's that time of the season where getting the website back in order, stuff like the history books and things like that. So, on the subject of Matthew Mott, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Who has more Lancashire League runs, Matthew Mott or Rusty? And this is for Lowerhouse. I know he's played for other people. For Lowerhouse.
No two ways about it. My money's on.
Mine, I think me and Jez are probably the same on this, actually.
How many seasons did Matty play?
One.
No matter if you played all. Yeah, he played one, but sub-pro in a couple of games, I think.
Oh, did he?
It's very, very, very common. Yeah, Keith. I think Keith used to play for Burnley.
Yeah.
For the loyalties episode.
I would estimate that Keith overall has about 800 runs.
800 runs. And I haven't set this up.
For Burnley.
I've asked them this question blind.
So I reckon for Lowerhouse he'll have 200 runs.
200 runs.
I might be doing him a disservice there.
Yeah, I have no idea. I played a Rusty, obviously, in the early part of my career. I can't remember him getting many runs at the time.
Did he play a lot of first team cricket?
Yeah.
But just kept and not really... Did he keep?
No, did he? No, he kept. My understanding is he was a fair batter early on in his career, and they came here, and we had a good side at the time.
Right.
Johnny Hartley and Graham Bushell and Roger Bromley and Lofty and Iggy and Stan and Phil Astin and what was the big all-rounder called? Johnny Hartley. Mm. So you have 7 or 8 players there that were all quality players.
Turned into a bit of a bench warmer.
So, but then you know, Tom Sully were a good player who played. Rusty, Dave Keeler, and then you had the likes of Brian Holmes, me, John Ormrod, Dave Worley when he came over. So they're a really good squad there. But it was strange, really, because Rusty always kept his place.
Could he drive?
He could drive. He was a bloody good driver, with Keith.
Right.
Yeah, he was.
Almost as good as that time when Blez picked you up from your house on the wrong side of Manchester Road.
Yeah, it's funny that. You know that story.
Oh no, he picked you up.
Really quick, can I tell her?
Yeah, of course you can.
I was injured. I broke my neck playing football for over here.
As you do.
Seriously. 100%, right? So I was out for a couple of games. Blez tweaked, I don't know, his earlobe or something. So he was missing. we decided to go and watch the first team at Bakeup, and me and Blez would go. There was someone else with us, I can't remember, and we'd have a couple of pints. Lindsay was going to run over to Bakeup during the afternoon, and then she'd drive us back, which was very pleasant of her, and we were all looking forward to it. I lived on Manchester Road at the time, so if you can picture it, Manchester Road, Big Hill, Rose and Crown, Town Hall. I lived halfway down, as we all know, but people who are listening might not. It's a big dual carriageway, which means it's got a central reservation. Blez comes down from Rose and Crown, and I'm stood in my bay window. Blez, yeah, no problem. Blez sees me, waves. He turns right, which you're allowed to do, so you go across into Rose Avenue, I think it is, and then stops there, and I'm ready for coming out. Come out my house, run across the road, get in his car. He turns left, but goes back up Manchester Road on the wrong side of the road. And I was looking at Blez, what you doing? I don't know, I'm just driving back up here to work up the wrong side of the road. Manchester Road is the busiest road in the world, and everyone's coming down towards us, all papping their own, so they all had to reverse back, and so Blez could get out of the way.
Like something you see on police camera action.
Anyway, that's a story. Yeah, it's another surprising story.
Well, didn't he pass his test quite late on? Oh no.
Yeah, I think it wasn't 17. I think it was a bit later. Are those children out of hospital yet?
Well, before we move on to the next question I've got around stats, we've got to obviously answer that one. So,
I would clearly say Motta.
I would agree with him on Motta, because I think Motta might have scored. He didn't have a great season for us, did he?
No,
800 runs.
Well, it's very close. Rusty, 792.
Oh.
Motta, 785.
Oh, really?
So Rusty has 7 more runs than Motta.
Whatever we do, this has got to go to Motta.
Yeah,
we've got to send it. Listen to this.
I'll send it in. On the subject of Australians, before we go on, I've updated the website today with a bit of news, and I know we've had quite a bit from ex-pros this last week. So Andrew McDonald's got the assistant coach role for Australia.
Yeah, that's great news.
As well as being Rajasthan Royals head coach as well in the RPM. Ryan Harris has been called up to the Australian 2020 bowling coach as well. So our ex-Australian pros are doing quite well, aren't they, in the old coaching world?
Can I just point out, going back to my stats, when Motti's whacked me all over the place, 160.
Yeah.
He played 2 seasons for Rottenstall. He got 1,317 in his first season and 1,391 in his second season. For us, he got 785. So that speaks volumes. That 160 is only worth about 120 on a normal ground.
There you go. Jez has spoken.
Yeah.
Got that one game for Colin, 170 not out. Great player.
That's probably why he didn't play a lot of cricket over here.
Yeah.
Wonder why he didn't score as many runs with the wickets, or
for us, or in general.
Or
just there were poor tracks then.
Right.
Would the bar not have had out to do it?
No, he was a top lad. Him and another pro came around the same time. I think just before him, a lad called Sean Flegler. I'm still in touch with Flegs. So over in
retweeted my tweet yesterday.
Yeah, 2 lovely fellas, great men, great pros for us.
Good. Right, next one. On the subject of Jez conceding runs, which is higher, Blez's league run tally or Jez's conceded league runs as a bowler?
Are you taking them?
I think it's Jez.
Not showing a lot of faith. Right, okay. Let me delve into that a bit. So why do you think it's Jez, Joe?
Because Blez has like 16,300 or 400 runs, I think.
More than that.
More than that.
Just more than that.
Jez will have played, I don't know, when would you have made your debut, Jez? In the 70s?
No, actually, in 1980.
1980.
I made my debut down here when someone cried off. So I played 1 game. It was quite comical, really. Is that? I played something made it that day. I think Mick Binns it was or something. I'll never ever forget it. I did nothing. I fielded at third man, didn't bowl. But I remember it significantly for Bob Whittaker, who played at Burnley after he played at Todd. It was Todd down here. And he was fielding where the old pavilion was, where the steps are now, and someone's bowled. One of our players has gone took it, top edge of it's gone skying up at air, and he's gone to catch it, gone like that, and missed it by about 3 foot. Smashed him outside the head and blood spurting everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Ouch. Jez bowled So this might give you some context. 23,732 balls, which is 3,955 overs in league cricket.
League cricket, 3,000.
3,955, and you can write off 659 of them overs because they were maidens.
So looking at 2,500. Probably. It was very economical, I think, despite what the last two games have shown.
Yeah.
Average is 23.54.
What would his economy be?
It'd do it.
2.5 or something like maybe 3. No, Blez must have scored more runs.
Economy 3.54.
Oh.
Blez must have scored more. What do you reckon, Jez?
I know you're going to say that I've scored more runs with my bowling than Blez has scored with batting. It's going to get down like a lead balloon, isn't it?
No. Blez has scored 16,552 runs to date.
Yeah.
And Jez conceded 14,007.
14,007, Jez. I mean, I've only scored maybe 1,700 runs. If that.
14,000 runs.
14,000 runs is a lot, isn't it?
It is to be scored off. Where would we? What would
Well, put it this way: Alan Alden had 10,000 off him, and he bowled 4,000 less balls than you.
4,000 less balls.
Mm.
Very good going, Jez, isn't it?
Fincher 11,000 balls, 6,000 runs.
How many balls did he bowl?
You're doing me head in here.
23,000 balls.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of balls, Jez. Feeling it now.
35.
That's why I can't walk.
Okay. So, got a couple of questions from the audience.
Okay.
I really like this one from, we've talked about it earlier, but Dan from Prague. Dan's just recently got his Czech citizenship.
Oh, really? Well done, Dan.
Because he don't like living in Burnley. But he does make an annual pilgrimage to come and watch.
Yeah, we've seen him in his blue coat.
He was here at the Cup final as well. So he's asked, if you had £1 million to spend on Lowerhouse, what would you do with it?
Me first?
Yeah.
First of all, would give £250,000 to Stan and say, flatten the ground as best you can.
How would you do that?
Not with the cash, you get people in to make it, the
okay.
flatter,
Yeah.
and you get
I thought you meant he had to roll it.
No, he's busy rolling it tonight and then look at building a state-of-the-art clubhouse at the Liverpool Road end. Obviously, it's facing south, so you get the sun rather than freezing your nuts off at this end if you're in the dressing room. I don't think we should knock the tea room down. I think we should make it a bit of a museum.
And put it in a glass box.
Yeah, rats and all. So that'd be another 7. No, let's say that's £500,000, and then I'd put 250,000 into some sort of a trust fund to make sure that the junior section continued in the way it was, and that we looked at signing top quality pros.
Okay. Joe, you are
spend it on wine, women, and beer.
Hey, don't tell Jez you spend it on drugs. You're very heavily involved in the junior setup. Would you do anything different?
Well, I don't know. I think that for what the junior setup is at the minute, I would say that for the club that we are, I would say it's exemplary. So I don't think that there would be lots of different things that we could do with it. Actually, maybe if we could potentially get some more coaches in or whatever. I don't know. But I think the way that it's heading at the minute with increasing funding, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
If I would knock everything down, I would then try and build a kind of, I don't think multiplex is the word. I think that's what they do for cinemas, but kind of a pavilion with everything in it in one place.
Yeah, so like a complex.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With tea room and everything in it. Do you know? I wouldn't mind Stanley Lane Square.
Yeah.
But I quite like the idea of I quite like the slope.
Yeah.
It gives it character.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that because Lords is a lot steeper than this. What I meant, Joe.
Yeah, it is. I played there twice, so.
Yeah. I'm sure you have. Yeah.
Where Old Trafford?
No, Lords. Played at Lords, hasn't it?
Lords, MCC.
Yeah.
I played at Old Trafford.
I was a quiet boy. I was meaning more the really undulating section.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
At the top right.
Well, you'd have seen it today, won't you?
Oh yeah, and then at the bottom there, the amount of players that aren't used to it that are running along, certainly from the top, running downhill, and they're looking up, so they may be looking for a catch or not looking at their feet, and they run about 6 foot on fresh air because their feet have continued on play and then end up going over breakfast. And the same down here, if you're running uphill, you stumble.
Well, I've played in the first team now for 10 years.
Yeah.
And Charlie running up that hill.
Yeah.
has made it an art form. Being able to take some of the catches that he has, it's been absolutely
He almost
incredible.
knows where every mound and
absolutely
every...
amazing. Never seen anything like it in terms of catching a cricket ball.
Well,
hills.
Another question from Gary Curzon, which is, what is your favourite Joe Martin haircut?
Oh, brilliant. I would say it was the 2012 Diana Ross kind of shoulder length curl.
How did you keep with the helmet on with that?
I had to keep sort of changing the strap at the back.
Yeah.
Because someday, it really depended on the humidity of it, actually.
You sound like you could be on a L'Oreal advert.
Well, I mean... that haircut was wildly hated by lots of people.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. It was different.
So why did you get rid of it?
Well, I was going to university.
Right.
And I didn't think it'd be socially acceptable.
So you didn't want to look like feel like Will off the in-between?
Well,
or whatever?
I mean, in every other sense of the word, I am like Will off the in-between.
What a briefcase wanker.
Well, I mean, I have a selection of briefcases at home that have ranged from when I was James Bond and used to try and walk PPK.
Have you still got them?
I think they'll be somewhere in the house. Yeah, I just had like a brown. I had a brown one with clips. I used to clip it and pretend it was like a...
Do you know what I remember a lot?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll come up.
You used to fascinate me.
Yeah, I think that's happened. Yeah, lots of people have said that.
Have we got pictures of that?
Yeah, there are lots of pictures of it. Yeah, out and about.
Are you brave enough to let Adam put it on Twitter?
I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll follow up from this podcast.
Yeah, please, absolutely.
What people don't know is the website, and with all the photos we get sent, there's some great photographers, Bryn Barnes, Bob Sandyford. I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately.
I really like more photos.
Well, here you go.
I really enjoy it.
Just show you this. The website now does face recognition.
Can I just mention photos on a podcast don't work?
They don't, but that's why we've got a Twitter account. So you can tweet Joe at Housecastpod with hashtag briefcase if you've got some good photos. Here we go.
Brilliant.
Look at that.
Fantastic.
Look
that. There's one picture we're looking at. I'm walking off at Colne. I got, I think I got about 39 or 40 that day. Chadley Van Chalwick was pro, and he kept bouncing me, and I kept hooking him. That's when I used to bat. But I have a real fantastic sort of sweep over there.
With you, I'll tweet that now. Actually,
I mean, it's
from
very
the
80s.
account.
I think it's very 80s, sort of. I don't know, like Rambo or someone, something like that.
We're recording live.
Very similar characters.
Is this your favourite Joe Martin haircut?
There's another picture where either I dropped a catch or Ben's dropped a catch.
Right.
And I'm sort of led on the floor with my long hair sort of sticking out, and Ben's there, and you can see the ball. I look a bit like Noddy Holder.
All right.
So I've tweeted that.
It's not something I always wanted to chat about. Absolutely.
Have you seen his favourite hit? Give us a verse. Maybe for the next one.
Right, well, I've tweeted that, and I've retweeted it from the Lowerhouse account, so 7,800 followers will see that as well.
Fantastic, yeah.
This goes back in year form as well,
So before that, that's a good curly one.
Oh, look, you're doing collections.
I always do. Yeah. Well,
are you forced to do collections?
I quite like it. It means that I can go and talk to people. I don't get out a lot. I'd prefer if you didn't. Now, we are looking at when we're in the changing rooms. This is a particularly humid day.
Yeah.
You can see why it's bunching, is what I would call it.
Bunching.
Rather than being. I would prefer if you didn't tweet that one.
More a bit of a poodle.
Tweeting now.
A poodle. Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Any more questions, Hans?
No, there are no questions. So, actually, I do have another question. It's from Dan Statham again. So he's asked, if you had to name a real ale beer after a first team player, what would you call it?
We need to have a good think about this. Because Blez has had one, hasn't he? John Willie Lees, bit of a, for the league sponsors. They were very kind in naming what was it called? The
Lancashire League Legend. It weren't officially named after Blez, were it? But I know he's already had it.
He had one before.
He had a beer as well. He had a Morehouse as well.
Blez
brilliant. Well, we might even get a brand deal with this. We need a sponsor.
But John Willie Lees are so good and they're real so good.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, I don't drink, but I imagine it's really good.
If there is anyone out there that does want to sponsor the podcast, by the way,
we'll probably have to be a rival.
No, we'll pay for a microphone with it. It could be a rival club if they enjoy listening to us.
I've got one.
All right.
I think Charlie Cotton. It would have to be a strong and stout. He's a strong man. You can rely on Charlie. He's got shoulders. He's a very stout sort of man. And then something else that comes to mind is Frankie, that we could have it. It could be called Lanky Lager.
What, for Lancashire?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Need be, because he's now a Lancastrian, now he's moved over.
He's English, he'll be sporting England on Saturday morning for the World Cup.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Oh,
No, will he? Okay.
Ben could be a smoky dark mile.
Why?
Because of his mystique.
Mystique. It was that band from the 90s.
Really? Mystique? I think Mystique were about... I'd have said early 2000s. I think Alicia Dixon was in them. Sorry.
I'll Google that while Jez carries on with his beers.
What about, Blez, I think we should rename it Around a Mature Baby Champ. Baby Champ. Baby Champ.
Baby Champ.
That's how I spelled it.
Hashtag Baby Champ. Mystique were from 99, Joe.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know who was in it.
I don't think Jez is bothered.
And Joe, one final one. You could be
go
a
on.
soft and weak pale ale at 2.1%.
Yeah,
Did he never drinks?
Yeah, no, I mean...
That was in the medals for
name
it.
some kind of... I think you could probably have some kind of cordial after me, I think.
Yeah.
Like a dandelion and burdock.
Joe's juice.
Joe's juiced.
Yeah, I mean...
Alicia Dixon was in Mystique.
Oh, wonderful.
There you go. Right, we've been recording for 40 minutes.
Really, wow.
So we don't know how long our podcasts are going to be. Once we get into the swing of things, I'm going to have to edit this and listen to this stupid rambling for another 45 minutes. But we wanted to do the Lowerhouse draw.
Oh, fantastic.
So we are in the West End room. We don't have a set of balls.
Whoa.
Or do we have a set of balls?
I can do it on my phone. Random generate number.
Random generated number. Okay.
I think that's the best rather than just guessing them.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's what Lisa does it on the random generated numbers, and people don't believe it.
And the first one that comes out is always ours.
In fact, the last one we recorded
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah, you did actually. Recorded the video.
Really charismatic as well.
Is it really? Stan even commented on the accent.
And the number is 1.
I felt a bit, not on the front, but it just, Stan is such a...
You were trying to do something different.
he's a
Jez,
public...
I liked it.
Well, I like to think that we're the forefront of technology in amateur cricket. We've got an iPhone app with dark mode coming out next week. Our website does all right.
What does that mean?
You don't have an iPhone. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, it is an iPhone. It's slightly mattered.
Yeah, drop.
With the new update, you can change everything black, but that's probably for an Apple podcast if you wanted to go through that.
All right, wow.
I just mentioned about Stan commenting on the accent. He did go to private school, was paid for a number of years, and that's why he can talk like he can. Just dragged up internally.
Yeah, correct.
Right, so here we go. Do you want to commentate or do you want me to do it?
Well, let's press the random numbers. So the random number between 1 and 177.
Can I just point out, yes, the numbers we have are between 1 and 177. Can I thank everyone who's joined just recently, including yourself, Joe?
Yeah.
15 years too late, but there we go.
We've had like 27 new people.
New joiners in the last 2 months, which has saved our bacon a little bit because we were paying out a little bit too much for the amount of people that were in. Thanks to Adam and Stan who've got these new members in, but any new members, please
Always
join.
room for more, isn't there, Jeff?
There is. It raises anything between £400 and £500 a month for the cricket club. We pay out £600 on average for the cricket club, so it goes. So much of this money goes towards the nets and towards the facilities and everything else. Bit of admin. We have still got quite a few free numbers in here, so Adam will press the generate number.
Yeah.
It will come up with a number.
And then
maybe Joe, you come round here, so we think.
While these two are organising themselves, if you do want to join and you don't join, or you want to add another number, lowerhousecc.com/draw. On there, you can either sign up by direct debit, it's got all the details, or sign up by PayPal. If you are in two minds and you can be bothered, sign up by direct debit because we have to pay a fee to PayPal and more money goes back to the club.
Very easy to set up.
So I'll press generate and generate the first number, shall I?
Okay.
So the first number is number 57.
Ooh. Number 57 is Alan Thornburg. I think this is quite a good way of doing this because I do feel a little bit like the national
I like
National
it.
Opera. So Alan's got 100.
So I can give a little bit of a spiel. Alan Thornburg was the one who did the club up.
All right, okay.
Really?
Yeah, Alan and Matt sorted all that together. Worked.
Was it Big Al?
Tirelessly. Yeah, it's Big Al.
Big Al. Well done, Big Al. Yeah.
Big Al
Big up
wins £100. £100.
£100.
I just need to write it down as well because no one else has taken any notes.
Well, it is recorded, so we could listen back to it.
I guess so. What was his number?
57.
57. Thank you. So
80 quid. Next one.
The next prize is 80 quid. Yeah.
And that number is number 7.
Oh, that's an early one, isn't
that's
it?
a little bit. Number 7 is Cheryl Marquis. Cheryl Marquis is Matt Marquis's mum. Cheryl does win on numerous occasions, I have noticed. But well done, Cheryl.
Big up, Cheryl. Well done. How much is the next one for?
£70.
Is number 3.
Oh.
Thinking to yourself, do we have to give it him?
Again?
Yeah.
He won last month.
Yeah, Frank's one of the original joiners, to be fair. This
fair.
was first started in, I think, 1999.
Oh.
Stan set it up and then he said he was too busy making meals for the prisoners. So I took it off him in 2000, 2001. So yeah, number 3, Frank went to school.
Well done, Frank.
Right, one more prize, which is for 50 quid.
Number 74.
Oh.
Come on, Joe, you can help me.
It is an
I don't
iPad,
know
you just
what to
scroll it.
Graham Young.
Graham Young.
Great
Oh,
lad.
good.
Graham Young played for the club in, not the 60s, but certainly in the late 70s. A couple of years older than me. Top fella is Graham. Been in the draw since it started. Thanks for him.
Keith dropped him, for a semi-final or a final or something.
Yeah,
Second team. I don't really know it, but I know that because it mentions it every time he sees Keith.
Graham does.
Yeah.
Oh, good lad, Graham. Good lad, Graham.
Well done, winners.
74, Graham.
Number 74. So we'll put those results on the website. We plan to put the podcast on the website. We also want to put it on, it's going to be originally on SoundCloud, which is an app you can download, which is free. But we're going to get it on Apple Podcasts and all of Spotify and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But we do have to pay to put it on there. It's a very small fee, but we want to make sure that we've got the listeners' support out there. So send your questions in, give us a tweet. If you want to be on the podcast, get in touch. I've got a couple of people that I'd like to speak to get in this room because I'm sure we'd have a good laugh.
Yeah, we've got a few ideas, getting some guests in.
Yeah.
But they have to be serious. We don't want
Yeah.
village idiots. So we've got a few ideas around that.
So it's at Housecast Pod on Twitter or housecast@lowerhousecc.com.
Get your questions in. Are we done? Is that just one final comment? Or do you want to say anything, John?
No, I'd like to see Jez on this podcast at some point.
When I said no village idiots,
That'd be a 3-hour Christmas special.
he'd have to sing, obviously.
I mean, that's a prerequisite, isn't it? Of any kind of.
Send your requests. Who would you like to see on the podcast? Because then if we've got some requests, we can badger him into it.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see with Jez on the podcast?
Yeah, and also I tell you what would be good for people is ask questions of stories that have happened in cricket games.
Yeah.
Because genuinely, we will get legends likes of Blez, the likes of Brian Higgin who played here for so many years, and obviously Stan and other people to come in and answer questions.
Yeah.
Are we done? Finally, just one last point.
Yeah. One last point.
I have never ever been in somewhere where your beer goes colder.
We're in the West End room, and it has actually been done up. Shall I say done up since the season?
Stan's put the pictures up.
Yeah.
Or put some pictures up, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
It's cold, but it's better than it were 30 years ago.
Exactly.
There you go. Right, okay. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time these two decide to turn up.
Order! Send more house to save the house.